All right, welcome back to Agnostic Energy Work for everybody, even atheists. Just so I'm upfront with every video, I like to say this, start every video off by saying this. Personally, I'm agnostic. I'm atheist in some respects, and I don't believe the energy work, or I'm not sure if energy exists, I should say. I think it's more likely that it is some sort of neurological or neurophysiological anomaly. In any case, it comes down to this, that energy work practices amplify your capacity for what kind of meditations you can do, and it, depending on what you're doing, it can really amplify the intensity of your meditations. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to decouple, I guess, your body's rhythm of breathing from your energy work breathing, like body breathing. It's kind of difficult, so I'm going to take you through a couple of stages to get there. But once you are there, you can perform incredibly rapid pulsing, which if you get doing your pulsings right, like full body pulsing, you can create a very intense sensation around your body, which is what you need if you're planning on getting into the MABA state quickly. That's mind awake, body asleep, or from there planning on going onto having a lucid dream or a quote unquote out of body experience. So let's get started here. In the last video, I was talking about just breathing normally, right? Closing your eyes, meditating down, breathing, and feeling the sensation of kind of the magnetic compression and expansion as you're breathing. When you breathe in, it typically feels like there's some sort of field compressing around you, and when you breathe out, when you're focusing on your body after we did the energy ball and everything, it should typically feel like there's something pressing out or expanding out from you. So that's basically what body breathing is. But the problem is, for whatever reason, whatever physiological, reason, or whatever the mechanism is that sensation, the body breathing sensation, is tightly coupled with your natural breathing. There is the possibility that because using your natural breath as an instrument to begin to feel the sensation of the body breath, it may be that is what causes that coupling, or it may be that it's just kind of naturally wired that way. But whatever the case is, in order to perform some of these more complicated body breathing patterns and energy pulse patterns, you need to decouple that. So we're going to talk about how to do that. The first thing you need to do is to be able to start body breathing while you're holding your breath. Now, you don't want to hold your breath for too long. It's not, you don't want to go blue in the face while you're trying to do body breathing. Just hold your breath for a couple of seconds, right? And while your breath is being held, mentally try to get that body breathing sensation moving. So I'm going to hold my breath. I'm going to do a couple body breaths while my actual breath is being held. Fairly easy once you get the hang of it. But the problem is you're not holding your breath the whole time you're meditating, right? You're breathing in, you're breathing out, you're breathing in, you're breathing out. So the first step is to get that kind of figured out and mastered, to be able to do your body breaths without actually breathing any air in or out. Once you get that down, right? Once you've got that figured out, the next step is to move on to being able to do a series of body breaths in and out on an exhale. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, and as I'm exhaling, I'm going to do several body breaths. So inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to do a series of body breaths. So it might help to, do with your hand or something while you're doing it, like, and that will help you get, at least be able to do it while you're on your exhale. And then of course, once you get that, you want to start doing it on your inhale, right? Like it can be tricky. Okay. So once you have those down fairly well, and it can take a while because all of the rhythms in your body work in concert with each other, right? And there are a lot of rhythms that just naturally tend to fall in sync with each other. And this is one of those examples, okay, where your attempt to do body breathing, it's like doing this, right? Circling around on your belly, tapping your hand on your head, or doing 2 circles going opposite ways with your hands, like, right? It's not, you want to tend to, go together, or there's just a tendency to sync things up. And because in so many meditation courses and classes, there's this emphasis on focusing on your breath. I discourage that at all costs. To continue to associate the breath with meditation is a huge, it just becomes problematic later on down the road. You want to have your breathing be a separate beat, a separate rhythm that you don't need to consciously worry about. And when you start meditating and you have meditation teachers that tell you to focus on your breath, that becomes a very ingrained, it just gets stuck in your head. And when it comes time to start doing more advanced meditations, now you have to try to disconnect that focus on your breath from everything else that you're focusing on. So it's just problematic from the start. Breathing, yes, is important. Yes, there are breathing meditations that specifically focus on the breath, but to focus on your breath in all of your meditations is just going to put you in a place where you're going to be very frustrated trying to decouple that from more advanced cognitive focus concepts, right, that you're going to want to be doing later. So, okay. So far we've got the 3 things to work on. Don't move through this like you're trying to get to the end, okay? Just deal with one exercise at a time until you've got it down. Start with the holding your breath, right? Holding your breath, being able to do a series of body breaths while you're actually holding your physical breath, a series of body breaths on the exhale, then on the inhale. After you are comfortable with that, okay, then you can move on to try to just get your body in a normal breathing rhythm, all right? So you can just forget about the breathing, remember? And remember, we want to do belly breaths. This is why this can be frustrating sometimes for some people. Belly breaths, you should be so practiced in doing your belly breath that you do belly breaths when you're running. You do belly breaths during the day as you're walking around. Who cares if people think that it looks weird that your belly is coming in and out? It's like, it's the more stress-free breathing that you can do. The tight upper chest breathing is stress related. In fact, doing tight upper chest breathing actually releases stress hormones. So you want to just turn your belly breathing into your natural mode of breathing so that is just what happens. So as you're breathing, right, you want to be able to just let your breathing happen and just let it be on its own rhythm. Okay, so you don't have to think about it. Belly breaths are happening because you're so practiced at it that you do it all the time anyway, that it's your natural mode of breathing. And so when you're doing more complicated meditation exercises and energy work exercises like this, your focus isn't flopping around trying to focus on your breathing and then whatever other task you're currently trying to attempt to do. All right, so once you've got that down, now you want to just get in the mode of just breathing normally. Just set your physical breath on its own little course. Let it go. And as you're doing that, set a secondary pace, Okay, you're not thinking about your breathing anymore, and you don't want your body breathing to sync up with your breaths either, because once they're synced up, now they're just coupled again, and that's not what you want. You want it to be a separate entity, or a separate, rhythm that's happening. So let your reptilian mind control your breathing, make sure they're belly breaths, and as that's happening, now that you've practiced, layering body breaths on top of inhales, exhales, and holding your breath, now you want to start doing a series of faster paced body breathings. So even though I'm breathing like slowly, right? I can be doing a series of body breaths that's like wah 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 on a much higher frequency that doesn't even necessarily need to be in beat with your physical breaths. So, not that you can see what's happening, but just, I guess to demonstrate as much as is possible, I'm just going to do that for a few seconds, okay? I'm just going to belly breath, and I'm going to do some very fast body breath pulsing. Okay, now, practice this, because for some people, this can be really this can be a very frustrating experience trying to decouple this, all right? Like, even in like Tai Chi and Qigong, and even in some schools of karate and martial arts, there's that association with breath. And it's being synced up with an action. That's what we want to kind of unlearn. Not that that's bad. In some cases, that's useful and it's good, but you want to be able to kind of move between the two worlds, right? Okay, so now after you've been working on that for a while, and after you can just, sit there and breathe and do, flexing and releasing your body breaths. All right, now you can move on to doing very extended body breaths. So, whereas in the previous case, we do just normal mouth breathing, right? Normal belly breathing, and a series of very, faster body breath pulses. You can do normal breathing and very slow and stretched out body breaths. So for, say every 5 or 6 belly breaths, you're doing this big, expansive out breath, and then this very, concentrated, tight in breath for another 4 or 5 breaths. Again, it doesn't need to be synced up with your actual breaths. Don't count your belly breaths as you're doing this, but again, the point is to decouple that concept, right? So just don't even worry about your belly breathing. Let your reptile brain do its own thing, as long as it's, nice, relaxed belly breathing, and just do long, expanded body breaths. So you can go from a series of just very expanded body breaths to the point to where a very intense out breath can actually cause almost this very intense tingling and almost electric sort of feel all the way throughout your body. For some reason, that tends to only be on the out body breath. You can also do the in body breath, where it's very tight and constricted. For me anyway, not associated with any sort of electrical body tingling. But, these extended body breaths, these very long ones, can become very intense. It's almost like when you're working out, you're working a muscle, and you're doing what is it called? where you're just doing very slow lifts on purpose and very slow movements, right? And it can become very powerful sensations when you do this. On the flip side, you can get very powerful sensations with doing extremely high frequency body breaths. So instead of just kind of like the, fast pulsing, we're talking about pulsing it so fast that you're not even trying to do several individual pulses anymore. You're just trying to like induce a frequency. So instead of like bum, 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 or wah, 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 you're doing wah, 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 and then you're going even faster, where it's like, right? Where it's just becoming a frequency. It's not so much, individual pulses. Now it's just a frequency of energetic vibration sensations, okay? And on that end, when you get doing that, you can get really intense body energy sensations going. And that is one of the states that I have found it to be extremely easy to get into, to lay down, right? Relax everything, do a few body scans, and then do some of these like high energy vibratory exercises where that just kind of like leads to this falling sensation. Really is the closest thing that for me that it feels like. So it just is kind of like you're maybe floating is a better term, but you're like not laying on your bed anymore, right? You're kind of like just, sometimes it's a sinking feeling. Sometimes it's just kind of like twisting feeling, but you've caused that to happen really rapidly when you do these sorts of exercises. Caution, when you do high intensity exercises, it's really easy to get wrapped up with the intensity and start flexing muscles and stuff. So, and that will pull you right back out of the MABA state that you're trying to get into. So, my recommendation is just practice. It just takes practice to keep your body fully relaxed, right? Make sure all your muscles are relaxed. Make sure you've done all your body scans. And the first several times, you're probably going to have to kind of be conscious of this, because it is easy for, when your body is just vibrating full of just this electrical high intensity energy, and to not react to it physically is very difficult. I'm trying to think how exactly I do this. I think I just do a few full body checks. Yeah, I think that's all I do. I think I just check up, throughout the body every now and then. Just make sure everything's still nice and relaxed. I haven't started tensing anything up. That's that. That's probably the fastest way I have discovered to get into the MABA state. And that's pretty much it. Again, don't get frustrated if things don't happen right off the bat for you, okay? Everybody's different. Everybody takes a different amount of time to get where they need to be. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I think that should give you a bit of work, a few things to work on. Not easy stuff, especially if you are, if you've really ingrained that breath work into your brain. These exercises are going to be on the more difficult side, because you're unlearning something, right? And it can be frustrating sometimes. So just expect it, and don't worry about it. Like if it feels frustrating, just keep practicing. You'll get there. It's not like, you're never going to get there. As long as you practice, as long as you have your goal in mind, as long as you continue to practice. And again, you don't need to go bananas and go, 10 hours a day. Just set aside 20 minutes twice a day, right, to practice these things. and you will get there eventually. Okay. All right. So that is it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video, hopefully sometime before the end of this week. I'll have another couple videos up. So take care. If you enjoy this content, please take one moment to go ahead and subscribe, like the video, share it with anybody that you think might find this interesting or helpful, and take care out there. If you start having any weird side effects, take a few days off. All right. See ya.